Okay, so I'm just going to go through what I remember it being like every time I get possessed by this delusion that there are other processes in my own brain holding unique entities totally different from me, well, mostly different from me, sharing some small number of similarities, but differing mostly to the point where the paranoia that I defines me now basically makes me think of all the things that I've ever done and wonder if it was really me that did it. If it's really me right now. Perhaps the entity that I am is not the one that is speaking to you right now. This is what goes through my head, just on rapid fire, and just goes off into insane tangents, that could reach Mars. But perhaps I don't even speak. The one that is conscious right now, that is seeing myself speak and hearing myself speak, but it's in fact not actually me. Because I've never had the desire, at least it feels this way, I've never had the desire to be seen or heard by anybody. I mean, I feel like I'm an absolute introvert. However, I seem to gain energy by being around people. And every personality test I've taken recently, one I had to do at work and then one I did for a friend, I mean, they say I'm either right in the middle or preferably extrovert. I don't really give a shit, but there's so many things about me that I feel like are me, but I'm not displaying those things anymore, or often, or at some times, or any time, or it's so hard to keep track of. Fuck. I mean, like right now in my present state, to document a little fact, or I'm only about 3 to 5% confident that I do in fact have alternate entities that think separately from me, either simultaneously or they take turns. To explore that a bit, because the other 95% of me is, of course, just knows I have some form of bipolar plus anxiety plus, I guess, ADD, because that's what I've been told a couple times as well. But to explore the 3 to 5% certainty that I have, very small, like I'm saying, that I actually, I mean, no, when I'm undergoing psychosis, I believe it like 90% that I have multiple personalities of some kind. But now I'm back down to only thinking it's 3 to 5%, but it's still interesting to explore and try to remember all those weird tangents, rationales I came up with, and all the places that I went to in my head of what's going on. What do I do? How should I act or think in a scenario where my thoughts could be being read by other people in my own head? I'm not scared at all of the fucking CIA across the building over there through my window beaming in a little thought reader. I don't care what they hear my thoughts. I'm fucking scared of these guys hearing my fucking thoughts because, hell, I say something that offends them. Anything. One of them could just switch out a new one instead of me. And the thing is, you'd think that, well, Wouldn't you know if you're not in control? That's what I thought too. But let's say this is totally different from DID or MPD, where they take turns being conscious. What if my other entities are simultaneously conscious, still alive, still running processes in that other, large majority of my brain I don't actively use at any given moment? What if that consists of, in most people, normally somewhat dormant, but perhaps, in my head, for some reason, with 3 to 5% certainty, there are other things also interpreting the senses through my eyes and ears, touch, and taste and smell. But if they switched out me with someone else at a given time, perhaps based on what personality would fit best in a given situation, you'd think I'd know if I lost control. But seriously, if I was still watching and hearing and tasting and smelling, I'm still getting all my senses. There's really nothing to tell you that you're not in control. I've thought multiple times, and of course I could just be playing games with myself in my head because I'm insane, but I've thought, well, in moments where I notice myself acting very differently, like walking in a different fashion, having a different expression on my face while resting, in a resting state, I think to myself, okay, move my left arm. Many times I don't move my left arm. I mean, I know that it's just some game that, like, some weird trick, like I keep playing on myself, like, as if I'm trying to convince myself I have the issue. Or maybe I do, I don't know. Thing is, that 3 to 5% certainty encompasses mostly, like, the situation where literally I think all humans, and probably all animals too, have multiple personalities. And what I mean by that is, it's theorized we have a subconscious and an unconscious as well, and they influence our decision making. But I haven't done much reading into, like, various, theories or philosophies surrounding the subconscious or unconscious. I really need to. I really need to get my ass into gear and read about that shit before I go talking about it. But then again, at least in my current state, I'm unbiased. I have no other information. All I can speak of is just the random fucking thoughts in my head with no context or any research done. That's a unique perspective, to be entirely uninformed, yet pretty self-aware and, pretty collected, so I'm just going to talk about it, as I've been doing for 8 minutes. I know I was going somewhere, but I forgot what my point was going to be with that last thing. But I'm remembering something I forgot to get to, which is, what are those crazy fucking tangents that my mind goes to when I'm mostly convinced I am not the one acting and that I have other processes in my head that take over? Well, if you've ever played the game Mafia, just describe it really quick. You've got at least 6 people, and each of you are secretly designated a role in your society. There's going to be one Mafia member, and his job every turn is to kill off someone. Just bam. And there's a mediator that is able to know everyone and know everyone's roles. They're like the judge in the game. And they tell the story and set up the setting and the environment and make it a fun game. Unique every time, ideally. But the Mafia member every turn kills someone off, alright? And of course the goal is figure out who the Mafia is, everyone else, and kill him before he kills everyone else. So then you've got the cop, or the investigator, or whatever, who is able to point to someone every turn and ask the judge silently, while everyone's eyes are closed, is that guy the mafia guy? And the judge has to answer truthfully, yes or no. And so then, if it's a yes, the cop has to convince people that the mafia guy is the mafia guy, when he could just be the mafia guy lying that he's the cop and trying to get everyone to kill someone off. Because, every turn, everyone votes to kill someone as well. It's just a fucking game of killing off people until there's, one side is left. That's an interesting game, and I enjoy it, but this is what my mind goes to in my own head. Now, I know I'm not the fucking mafia myself, because I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't even think I'm in control most of the time. Like right now, I don't even think I have the speaking ability to be able to converse well with myself, I guess, but like this, I don't like talking. I fucking hate it. Like, I just feel totally simultaneously uncomfortable right now, and a little like, this is kind of fun. I don't know. It's kind of, And now, with 95% certainty, I know that this is just normal. Humans feel multiple things at multiple times. We're complex creatures. Our moods dictate our actions and behaviors, and, of course we're going to act differently in different times. Doesn't mean we're a different personality. So, but remember, that's boring to think about because that's just normal. That's how everyone sees reality. So why not just kind of delve into the thoughts of, wow, I have multiple personalities in my head. Maybe we all do, but maybe I'm, maybe I'm the only one aware. Or maybe a lot of people are aware, but they look at me and assume I'm autistic because I'm actually talking about it because we're supposed to hide ourselves or something. Like, look, I mean, I could go on forever about the fucking rationales that I'm able to come up with that support that I, have this issue, this multiple process C issue. I don't know where to start. I mean, I guess I should have written some cool ones down. But, so the mafia game, right? I know I'm not the mafia guy. Oh, and there's another role, the doctor. The doctor can choose to protect someone each turn that a mafia guy kills someone. And so this adds extra information. When the doctor saves a guy that the mafia attempted to kill, you'll wake up in the next turn, all the citizens and everyone, and you'll find out that no one died, which means the doctor must have protected the mafia, or the guy the mafia killed. And so then the doctor knows that the guy you protected isn't the mafia. And, you just get more information this way, and it can spin off into a lot of fun shit, especially when people start talking. And you try to gauge whether they're lying, they're actually ignorant, just an ignorant citizen with no role in the game but to speak. But it's possible in this mafia game that I feel like represents what's going on in my head. Because no one knows who each other is, right? I mean, unless the other guys in my head could be talking to each other. And maybe there's just one other guy in my head. I don't know. There could be a lot. There could be one. Now, obviously, with 95% certainty, there's no other ones than me. But, it's just not fun to think about. It's more fun to just think about what I should do in the case that I am cohabitating this body. I haven't got much of anywhere with how I should act and according to it. Actually, even if I do, even when I am entirely or mostly convinced I'm cohabitating my mind, I don't really act much differently except in like the fucking retarded videos I made, or like I don't know. I mean, I act a lot. I still act mostly alright. I still go to work and can act normal, behave normally, mostly normally, So even if it's true, even if I'm not even ever the one in control of my body and I'm just an observer and a watcher that has all the 5 senses that everyone else has, but I'm just simply not the one controlling my body. That could be. and I'm having a hard time remembering all those fucking weird. They're so hard to grasp onto. I mean, but I think a lot of the time in my Mafia game that I'm supposed to be the cop, I think that whatever in my body has delegated most of the time controlling my body. Now, that I was saying earlier that it's possible I don't control my body at all. But in this case, I have, you know, multiple personalities. It does seem likely that I am actually in control. It was just fun to think about. Maybe I'm not in control. Maybe none of you that are watching this are actually in control of your bodies or speech. Whatever. But I think I'm in control most of the time, especially when talking to people. Now, some people I talk to very, very differently. I feel like it's very possible some of my friends are actually friends with other personalities in my head. And I don't even know them. I've never spoken to some of my friends because I definitely act super differently. Like, I mean, it feels like 100% fucking differently around certain people when I'm alone with them. Then I feel like I have a different personality when I'm around tons of people that I know. When I'm around tons of people I don't know, I feel like I'm in even another one that doesn't talk and wants to leave any situation. It's just I have incredible social anxiety when it's majority people I don't know around me. Like, I gotta get the fuck out of there. And I just, not always, but most of the time. So it's like, why is that some of the time I'm around tons of people I don't know? Why do I act fine and extroverted and talkative? And then most of the time I'm like, fucking get me out of here. I don't know. I mean, it's very obviously most likely explained by just, you know, other factors. Complex combinations of factors, both internal and external. But what if it could all be explained by multiple personalities? Like, it's just fun to explore. Because once you start to believe this, you start to notice just automatically that you act differently, really differently, in different environments. But so in my Mafia game, I believe I am the cop. Because, how do I explain that? I feel like I have already imprisoned the Mafia member in some way, or the primary controller of who gets to be out and control my body, the controller of who is controlling me, you know, the person who switches the personalities. He probably locked up the insane, violent one in my head. Now, of course, I would explain this in the 95% sphere of belief that, well, everyone has violent thoughts. Well, maybe not everyone. Who knows? I just definitely have some violent thoughts, you know, every now and then. Don't think I've ever acted on it, to my knowledge and memory. Because that's scary too, of course. Like, what if you're secretly a serial killer, another personality of yours? And all those nights you don't remember, you're actually out like, stab him in the eye or some shit. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's obviously not true, but it's just something that scares me if I actually do believe I have other controllers in my head. But the person, the person or entity or maybe automatic process, subconsciously, whatever, that switches who I am, probably locked up that violent person from acting, I think. And I think I am the cop who is investigating how I can get information from his personality, a very intelligent and clever and street smart one, I feel, that I definitely don't embody because I'm not clever or street smart, or I'm terrible with finance and economics and business. Like, I'm just fucking, I don't get those things. I don't understand cryptocurrency. I mean, I understand the basic gist of the blockchain, but I do not understand all these, like, derivatives and tools and usefulness is proposed for cryptocurrency at all. I just know it's the future of economics. That's obvious, but I'm the cop and I'm trying to... First, I have to be convinced that I am another personality. I think the other ones in my head are doing whatever they can, and apparently it's a very difficult thing to do, is to convince me that I am another guy and I'm cohabitating. And then once that happens, I can more effectively mine information from the violent one and get his cleverness and street smart opinion. Basically, I'm also kind of like supposed to be the psychologist who's supposed to like get him to switch sides and help us out. I'm gonna not make this any longer because I feel like 20 fucking minutes is already too fucking long. Essentially, I get thrown back and forth between a complete alternate Truman Show reality-like thing, where nothing I know is actually known, everything's a lie, everything I've seen or heard has been presented intentionally to make me think a different thing than is truth. And I go back and forth between this, not even between mania and depression, but in depressive states, I go back into, the 3 to 5% goes up to like, ooh, maybe it's a 40% chance that I'm actually in this alternate, Truman Show reality of some kind. Anyway, that's it's kind of good some details about the delusions that I get overwhelmed by. I can't really help it. Because, kind of makes sense.